Hi, my name is Marian Rosado. I first met Joey through recommendation from my stepdaughter who lives in California. So we set up an appointment and I came back and we discussed some of the issues that had come up in that initial meeting, which were feelings of absolute sorrow. I had gone through a divorce, lost my home, and just my life as I knew it kind of had fallen apart, and I couldn't talk about, it had been almost, been 3 years, I couldn't talk about my home and the loss of my home without crying. And the anger and the sorrow and the loss that I felt were so inside of me. I couldn't talk about my ex-husband without feeling angry. I was so angry with him, and blamed him for so much of what had happened. And when we went through the session, I wound up coming to terms with a lot of the loss, and even my own part in a lot of it that I was totally blinded to. And we went through it as painless, and through the series of steps that he walks you through. For me, I saw different images. I felt a physical release, an emotional release, and the way that I described it to Joey, and I've described it to so many people, it's like when I left, when we got done, I felt like someone had opened the window of my heart, and this refreshing spring breeze blew in after a long, stagnant winter. And I felt alive. I felt like there was just fresh air that was there. True test of all this for me was just yesterday. I spoke with my ex-husband for the first time since we had that session several weeks ago. And we were actually able to laugh and talk. I could not talk, I couldn't even hear his name without feeling angry, and and I just don't feel that anymore. I feel more alive, more free, more at peace, and it was one session, and I've done, I've been working on healing and letting go for 3.5 years, and it was that, I'm not saying the things I hadn't done before weren't beneficial, but this was life-changing and like night and day difference, and I highly recommend it.